We were supposed to do No Laughing Matter.
No Laughing Matter.
Don't we have...
Usually, you know, I got to be honest with you, we're brilliant when it comes to the radio tease.
Oh,
we certainly are. But as far as No Laughing Matter, we're kind of waiting for Patrice to wake up because he gets smashed along with Louis C.K. by Andrea Pizer in the New York Post. Can we get her on the show?
Get Andrea Pizer.
These columnists all hide behind their stupid columns.
And nothing's better than when they write write out a couple of lines or a joke.
Right.
And it's taken out of context.
Right.
And it's written and it looks like a court document.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, we'll get into it because it's some fun fodder for this fine radio show. The headline, No Laughing Matter. Let's just read the first two sentences here. The comedy show is supposed to raise money for homeless women. This is not funny. And then it just goes on.
Hysterical.
And Louis C.K. must have the biggest you-know-whats in the business because the jokes he was telling at this fundraiser.
Well, Patrice wasn't exactly
he's right there,
Mr. Woman's Rights either.
He's right there. It's great. We're going to get into that. Also, I hold in my hand. The New York Comedy Festival was for the last week here in New York City, of course. A lot of great shows all over the ball field. And Patrice O'Neal and Louis C.K. are in I was going to say they're in a little bit of trouble, but that is so stupid.
No.
This is what you want as a comedian. They got some fine press in the New York Post over the weekend.
If this bitch liked this, there'd be trouble. Believe me.
You're right.
And this is again, if you just write out small bits that people do during their act, taken out of context, it looks bad. To a lot of people. To me, I find it hysterical.
It's happened to us over the years with articles and magazines and stuff. That could be a good bit of one day to get our stuff. Maybe the listeners could help us out and find those quotes that we've done in print, in the newspapers and the magazines, and send them in. And then you read it out of context, and they sound ridiculous.
Yeah.
And sound like Anthony really is a Nazi. And
yeah, exactly.
These sound funny, though. These sound really funny.
Yeah, they sound funny,
Actually,
but not to her reading audience. Like these women would read this and be like, oh my God, that's horrible.
Well, these hens wouldn't enjoy it under any circumstances.
Yep.
Well,
they're broads. Broads don't enjoy lines like that.
Well, this column was written by Andrea Pizer, and she's got an open invite to call our show. We'd love to get her angle on this.
Come on.
And we'll treat her with respect. We'll beat her up with intelligence is what we'll do.
The comedy show was supposed to raise money for homeless women. This is not funny. That's how it starts.
Right.
Ooh.
This is not funny. But one comedian starring in the event Wednesday night thought it would be a riot to joke about maiming, killing, and doing a number one.
On his bitch.
On his bitch.
Thumbs up on that, E-Rock, because we got to get this. All right. Yeah, stay in close.
Yeah. Maiming, killing, yeah.
Close contact with Al Duke.
On his bitch. And only bitch is in quotation marks. Yeah. Another thought it was a... What's that, E-Rock? So you're waving your hand around.
What?
No.
It got dumped?
Yep.
All right.
Why?
We back up.
All right, let's
start
try
over.
Again.
Because this is an article that appeared in the New York Post. We should be able to read this
is
word
funny. Let's
for
try
word.
to get by the dump.
Yes, that's what we're doing today. Hold on, let's start over. So it's,
but one comedian...
No, I would start all over. I don't know how far back he went.
Oh, the comedy show is supposed to raise money for homeless women. This is not funny.
All right, we know that's in there. Okay, good.
But one comedian starring in the event Wednesday night thought it would be a riot to joke about maiming, killing, and...
treating, picture dog, fire hydrant.
No.
Why?
Well, as soon as we say the next line, right?
Okay, well, it's the... Yeah, it's that's the problem. Here it is. One comedian starring in the event Wednesday night thought it would be a riot to joke about maiming, killing, and degrading in a certain liquid manner on his bitch. How'd that work?
No way.
Absolutely.
No way.
Why not?
What?
That went through.
Absolutely.
Wow, Ant, you're good.
That's of course.
Ant is good. I say screw the FCC.
Skated.
He learns.
gated.
I say screw it, and he learns.
Nice.
All right.
That ought to show them fuckers.
Oh, damn it.
One for the XMers. Sorry.
Oops.
Sorry, boys and girls.
All right. I threw one out just for the fun of it.
We treated the XMers to a curve.
Treat yourselves.
Treat yourself to a curve.
On that profanity.
Oh, no.
Rumor has it we're going to find Andrew today.
No way.
They found him. Someone came up to me on Friday and said they found Andrew, the guy, the homeless guy. I stomped on his cake, blah, blah, blah. It's on YouTube. And someone found him on Friday, and supposedly he's going to be part of the walkover today for the first time.
Oh, that'd be nice to see him again.
Because we're trying to get him for the homeless shopping spree. We'll have info on that.
He'll be so happy to be given money, a trip to a mall.
Yeah.
All the listeners will help him out.
All right. Back to the article. No.
Yeah, all right. We got through that line. Another thought it was a blast another thought it would be a blast.
Yes.
To kid about smashing the skull of his toddler daughter. Yeah, another thought it would be a blast to kid about smashing the skull of his toddler daughter. Gee, I wonder who that was.
Of course it's funny to kid about that.
Yeah. And out of context, it sounds horrific, but in the context of Louis' act about how miserable he is having to even communicate with his daughter, and, he's a man, and then you're put in this situation where you got to deal with the psycho-babble ramblings of a small child. Any parent doesn't get this little thought by their head that they would want to smash the kid's head in. And that's where the context that it's in.
Basically, it's the famous OJ line, you wouldn't do it, but you understand.
But I understand.
And you get these moments.
The Runch Fest, called Comedy Cares for the Homeless, took off at Town Hall in Midtown, headlined by funny woman Paula Poundstone and Caroline Ray.
Both of them.
Paula Poundstone.
Paula Poundstone.
How about that's more offensive, having her host this event?
No kidding.
For a woman, why do you think women end up in some homeless shelters? Perhaps something happened when they were younger and they weren't able to get their life back together because some manly-looking woman in a suit touched them inappropriately? Christ, Paula Poundstone.
Yeah, that really was an abysmal thing she allegedly did or did. Paula, why'd you do that? Well, best part was no hair to have to spit out.
Yeah, hosted by funny women, Paula Poundstone and Carolyn Ray.
Carolyn Ray, really fast, the host of The Biggest Loser.
Yeah.
As the contestants continue to lose weight week after week. It's one of the few shows I watch. She's getting fatter. She's hosting Biggest Loser, and the contestants are losing weight like crazy around her, and she's the one that is the host of the show.
That'd be a good gimmick for the host to have to be on the show the next season.
Absolutely.
Because she got too fat.
She should be a contestant. All right, go ahead.
More Andrea Pizer review here from the Post.
But after
suffering through the show, one major donor... Get this now. Get this bull. This hypocrisy. After suffering through the show, one major donor immediately yanked her support from Care for the Homeless, which is now building a Bronx shelter for women, many of them victims of domestic violence. So one major donor didn't like the show and yanks support for the actual program.
Oh, is that great?
Isn't that good?
Because of something two comedians says, one woman, someone's going to get a black eye from her husband.
Right, and have nowhere to go.
How great is that?
Because somebody made a joke that this idiot didn't like.
Because she put her personal preferences above the cause.
Yeah. What a pig.
Right.
Obviously she doesn't really believe in the cause if she is going to pull out her support over a dumb joke.
Yeah.
What a pig trying to bully everybody because she gives money to help the people of domestic violence, the victims of domestic violence, not to dictate how the money is earned other places, you pig.
Wouldn't you, aside from it being illegal sources, wouldn't you not really care how you're getting the money as long as the money is getting there to the women that need it.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if it's a comedy festival.
Oh.
Jesus Christ, how innocent is that?
And we've talked about this over the years. We won't retell the story again, but it just amazes us that these charities have will not accept money.
Yeah.
You would think every charity would accept money no matter where it's coming from.
Mm-hmm.
Even if it's coming from Mark Carr's personal checkbook, you would accept it because it's
Wouldn't
helping
you?
somebody. But no, they got stupid me. They got morals. They got morals to the point that they won't accept the money, so people will suffer because they
Fake
didn't take
morals.
They didn't take this money from this questionable source.
Wait till you read the next one. This is a gem.
Yeah, this is great. It's open season on women,
Wait, did you do the? Oh,
Yes.
okay. All right. Sorry. Go ahead.
said an angry Merle Hoffman.
Wow, I can't
How
believe
old is Merle?
Oh, he must have been angry.
Merle, president of Choices Women's Clinic, who removed her support. Oh, Merle is a woman?
What a hot chick.
Wow.
A woman named Merle must be.
Let me get in the mood. Hold on. Let me see if this would work at all. Oh, Merle. Oh, yeah, Merle. Yeah, Merle. Ugh.
That's right. Let me grab your mullet,
Yeah.
your Converse sneakers.
You look so hot, Merle. Merle!
And she's the president of a Choices Women's Clinic, but she doesn't like violence against women jokes.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when a woman comes in and wants an abortion and it's a little girl? Wouldn't you kind of consider that violence against a female? Don't punch them, but it's okay to vacuum them.
That's okay, yeah.
You self-righteous bitch. Shut your face.
Absolutely.
God almighty,
and God-
shut up.
God bless Louis C.K. and Patrice O'Neill for not adjusting their sets. By the way.
Yeah.
All right. So
Absolutely. Yeah, talk about taking your young daughter and smashing her head in. But,
Hey, at least they
Don't
gave
mention-
birth to the kid.
Yeah.
At least they had the kid, Merle. They didn't traipse into the clinic and look for the Hoover.
Don't worry about that little piece banging on the edge of the dumpster behind the place. Jesus.
That's right. As you're dumping out stew that could have cured cancer.
wow.
We'll never know.
We'll never know.
Oh, Merle Hoffman, who removed her support. That's what really infuriates me. Misogyny is the last permissible thing. Is it?
No.
You dope with a man's name? Misogyny is the last permissible thing? How come everybody that feels victimized says that they are the last thing that's allowed to make fun of?
There's still gay bashing and racism to enjoy. What's
Of
the matter
course.
with
You dumb broads are third by a long
you?
shot.
Exactly. Merle.
I say blacks, gays, Jews,
And then women.
and then women.
What are they doing at a comedy
You're
show?
fourth, you dope.
That's right. Merle.
Merle.
What are they doing at a comedy show? Don't people realize by now that for every laugh that is had at a comedy show, it kind of hurts somebody out there? Maybe not someone in-
Paula Poundstone or Carolyn Ray. That's what these women wanted.
Maybe not-
They probably howled at those two.
Yeah, but I'm sure they told jokes. If you really broke down their set, it was hurting somebody. Maybe not in the audience, but
Yeah.
hurting somebody out there. That's what comedy's all about.
Yeah. Also in the audience
Oh, there's
were
some more wonderful names coming up.
an unamused Sonia Osorio, president of the city's National Organization for Women, and Liz Abzug.
How is your last name Abzug?
Abzug.
How do you not have a sense of humor with the last name Abzug?
Is that Bella Abzug's daughter or something?
Probably.
Abzug. That's the sound a guy's fist makes when it hits your stomach.
Abzug.
Abzug. What sexy names for, I'm sure, sexy women.
We got a couple women screaming at us. It's not Merle, it's Merle.
It's not Merle.
Merle, you dumb broad. It's Merle. It's Merle.
M-E-A-R-L-Y would be Merle.
Oh, okay.
Like it's the Merle show. Or I have to get up Merle tomorrow.
Merle. It's not Merrill. It's not Merrill, you dumb Stephanie bitch.
Stephanie, you're in violation.
You stupid broad.
You're in violation.
It's Merrill, not Merle.
You're in violation, Stephanie.
M-E-R-L-E. M-E-R-L-E, that spells Merle.
That's Merle, not Merrill.
Stephanie.
You dope. Stephanie.
We know how to read, Stephanie.
Stephanie, speak.
Hey, Stephanie.
Speak.
I love you guys.
It's Merle.
We love you too.
Why do you think it's Merle?
Well, I don't have this now.
It's Merle.
Yeah.
God.
Merle. Shut up.
All right, you know what?
I wish she didn't get up so Merle and didn't listen to this show.
We got to do the
Hold
second.
on, I won't let myself go.
We got to do the second half of the column after the break.
No.
But we'll tease you with this. Now, I like to think I have a seriously twisted sense of humor.
They always say that.
But
Yeah,
dot after the break.
They always say that.
They all say that.
I'm known as the gal that
I'm no prude.
I'm not me.
I have a seriously twisted sense of humor.
No, you don't.
When that comedian talks about the peanuts on the plane, I'm right with them.
I understand and I laugh.
When has Andrea Pizer ever displayed anything that resembled a seriously twisted sense of humor?
Never.
I mean, if bashing your daughter with a rock, that's seriously twisted humor. What do you think that's funny, Andrea? That would classify you as having a seriously twisted sense of humor.
Black jokes.
She couldn't enjoy them.
Well, we'll see what she thought wasn't funny whatsoever.
I'd love to talk to her.
And it has something to do with Patrice O'Neill.
Of course it does.
And we'll do that after... What? Oh, Patrice is here? All right, we'll continue with this article with Patrice O'Neill next. It's the ONA virus spreading across. In studio, Patrice O'Neill. We're in the middle.
How about a mic?
I did.
Got a mic on?
Say it again.
Hello.
All right, there you are.
There we go.
Good morning. Good morning, Norton.
Hi, sweetie.
We're in the middle of talking about Andrea Pizer's column in the New York Post Saturday.
Entitled No Laughing
No
Matter.
Laughing Matter.
That's what you want when you're a comic being pretty much reviewed by this woman who has no credentials in reviewing a comedy act.
Oh, Jesus.
I love the pictures you use.
Oh, my God. We finally got a look at the pictures.
I told you, it makes you look like if you was writing a scathing report on something. They found a picture that I've never even seen myself that looks exactly like it should look for a bad...
These are pictures of men, yeah. You and Louie's picture look like men that would just beat their women senseless.
Look at the picture they have of Louis like he's a raving, sweaty lunatic.
Yeah.
With a
Yeah.
mic in his hand.
And you've never looked like this in your life. I guarantee you this was a joke pose you did for somebody.
For some...
Because you got your head back, tilted to the side, all attitude, like...
This is just when... Here's Patrice's picture. Just when the woman is coming to again after you just knocked her out, she's looking up, and this is the face you're giving her like, bitch, I've hit you harder than that, and you didn't go down.
And don't let me cut that index finger off so you don't dial 911. Like, that's what her face is. That's what my face
Yeah, that's what
looks
your
like.
face looks like.
All right, let me
do that on purpose.
Let me do the quick recap here. So Patrice was part of this comedy thing with Louis C.K. The Raunch Fest, called Comedy Cares for the Homeless, took off at Town Hall in Midtown, headlined by funny woman Paula Poundstone and Carolyn Ray. But after suffering through the show, one major donor immediately yanked her support from Care for the Homeless, which is now building a Bronx shelter for women, many of them victims of domestic violence. So she's like, I'm out. I'm not helping black guys anymore.
And that woman was Merle Hoffman.
Merle Hoffman. Merle. A woman named Merle.
What the other? Did you get another?
Hold on, yeah, we're getting there. It's open season on women, said an angry Merle Hoffman, president of Choices Women's Clinic, who removed her support. That's what really...
And a lot of fetuses.
Said Merle Hoffman as she tweezered a hair out from between her teeth.
Merle.
Merle.
Hey, beautiful, what's your name? Merle.
Merle.
What's his name? Bob.
Also in the audience were an unamused Sonia Osorio, president of the city's National Organization for Women, and Liz Abzug.
Liz Abzug. I'm so sorry you have Liz Abzug. I do. How long do I have to live?
How do you have a B, a Z, and a G in the same 5-letter last name? She should be shot.
It's just how do you spell the most unsexy name in the world?
Merle.
Abzug. Or Merle.
Well, Merle Abzug would be the winner.
Merle Hoffman's a guy you borrow hedge clippers from. It's not a friggin' woman's
Unless
name.
it's Merrill.
No,
No.
M-E-R-L-E is Merle.
No, Stephanie.
Well, I thought maybe she spelled. You know, sometimes girls will spell their name. It'll be Jill, but they spell it like J-Y-L-L-E-X.
There is no way this is Merle because it's M-E-R-L-E.
It's Merle.
It's Merle.
How about
Her
Merle?
name is Merle.
How about Merle?
No.
I still say it's not Merle.
It's Merle.
She wears tight dungarees and work boots. Her name is
Of course
Merle.
she does.
Walks around with a pocket kazoo and a ukulele with a strap on it around her neck.
She has hair like Joe Dirt. Merle stinks.
I hate Merle.
I hate Merle too. I hope Merle gets abzug on her. I was going to say
Osario?
ovaries. You
On
have
her
abzugs.
Osario.
There's abzugs on your ovaries.
They had
Sorry.
A picture, the picture they had the Osario girl is the picture.
Let me see. Let me see what she looks like.
Oh, that's her?
She's kind of hottish for somebody who's like, you know.
It's not totally bad for,
I wouldn't mind hitting
what
that.
she does.
No, she's kind of cute for what she is.
Whatever.
But she's the president of now right now?
What a wonderful sense of humor she must have.
I bet.
All she deals with is bleeding gums and, you know,
Black eyes.
and bad excuses on why they didn't get their housework done. I was cleaning and he was drinking. Yeah, all right, fine. But why don't you explain why dinner was cold again? How about that, Toots? Don't give Sonia one side of the story.
I like putting her picture right next to Louis and yours, Patrice. Yeah. It really fills out
Wait
the
a
whole
minute,
thing.
put hers to the left of me, and I'm in the middle, and that's the caption.
Oh, okay.
And
there it is, just like that.
That's how it went.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's bad.
Wow, that's not good.
It looks like you two are indicted for raping her.
Right.
Yeah,
that's exactly what it looks like.
Wait, but do you know the original paper? It takes up half the top of the paper. The next article was Nazi riot at a Jewish wedding. Was a Nazi riot at a Jewish wedding was the next
story to read after.
Did it also say no laughing matter?
After your filth.
No, Nazi riot was a laugh reference. Nazi riot. It was a bunch of like a laugh riot. And well, I tell you, I want to see Sonia Osario's desk. I'll bet you she just has tissue box after tissue box for all the snivellers that walk in.
Got a refrigerator with raw steaks in it for their eyes.
Oh my God!
You know, it's the organization's logo on the side of the tissue boxes. Everyone likes the merchandise.
Dude, I don't know, and they didn't tell us it was a beating. It was beatings of homeless women.
How great is that? You're backstage getting ready for your set you've done 1,000,000 times, and you have no clue that there's like people in the audience that have been beat silly.
And I told you, Louis, the same thing you do. You know, Norton, you do what you're doing at the time. So
no one told you?
They said it
not
was
that you would have changed your act because we know you.
Not that you should.
Yeah, of course not.
It was a regular. We thought it was just all regular homeless.
Not the beat up one.
Beat up women homeless.
You know,
it changed my whole thing.
The article gets much better.
Not only is now National Organization of Women, but it's when you should do the housework when you're told.
Oh my God!
They had a problem with our Whip 'Em Out Wednesday promotion.
Of course they did.
Yeah.
We had our run-ins with them.
Yeah, she's the president of the New York chapter of Now.
Of Now.
How much fun could she be?
It was so, you don't understand, man. How it was so anticlimactic.
Yeah.
The situation. I just came in, did my abusive humor, and left. Went to a party.
Can I ask you something? Were you getting good reactions from the crowd?
Of course.
You were killing, right?
Of course.
So you were killing, and stupid Andrea Pizer was in the audience. She didn't like what you were saying, probably because maybe it hits too close to home, I'm thinking. And all of a sudden she has to write a whole column on it. So you weren't getting booed off the stage or nothing?
There was one lady that could have been Andrea that were yelling out, "Excuse me."
She did not.
Somebody, I don't know who.
Ew.
Excuse me. And I've heard that excuse me before because, of course, I've pissed women off to them enough to go, excuse me. She was going to say something like, "Do you have a girlfriend? Has your mother ever..." Like this. I was in the middle of doing...
Oh, you heard her and you stopped your set?
I said like this. I said, let me just finish this one here, and I'll get to your question. Because she was very deliberate. She had a very...
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I'm empowered, and
you should not go to a comedy show.
Don't.
It's as simple as that.
Wait a minute, I go like this, which I know had to piss whoever it was off. I go, hold on, I finished the joke, and then I go, oh, they said I gotta go. Like I did. They said I have to go. Thank you very much. I gotta go. Like,
good night. Not addressing you, you dope.
She should be that zealous when she's dropping those little blue hockey pucks into the septic tank. That's when she should have that type of go-get-'em attitude. When there's a streak in the tub, get that go-getter attitude.
Excuse me.
Excuse me. There's a streak in this tub, and I better get to cleaning.
Oh, didn't I say scrambled?
Oh, I thought you said sunny side.
Excuse me. It's not your problem. They picked the comedians for this benefit. They can do their research. And
do their research, right.
Yeah, go get some boring, safe comics if you're going to be offended so easily.
On my best day, I'm still marginally, like on my least offensive day, somebody can complain about what.
All right, let's go. Let's move on with the article because it gets really good.
Yeah, we're going to have to do a little tiptoeing around this one, too.
Now,
she starts off this one paragraph. This is Andrea Peyser. Now, I like to think I have a seriously twisted sense of humor.
I would love to find out what she thinks is twisted.
You don't.
It's funny.
But did you read the part with? Oh, you couldn't.
Yeah, we're getting there.
We'll get there. When they said maim and
maiming, killing, and we couldn't say the other thing.
That's seriously twisted. How could she not find that funny?
That's not. She didn't even say a twisted sense of humor. She said seriously twisted.
And she likes to think that about herself.
You know what?
Oh,
you don't.
Honey, I can go with the best of them.
I bet at her little coffee clutches she goes to with all her little old maid women sitting there. She is the life of the party with her jokes.
You know what it is? They're probably all around with their dumb broad friends, and they play cards, and they watch soaps. And someone says something about having too many drinks, and she goes, oh, I had too many drinks once. It was crazy.
Let me tell you.
Twisted and seriously crazy.
Twisted and crazy.
Oh, You're
not twisted. Your sense of humor stinks.
It's not.
And if Andrea Peyser was the one saying, excuse me, call our show. Call our show. We'll let you have the air and see what you're all about.
Free reign of our airwaves to explain yourself.
Now, I like to think I have a seriously twisted sense of humor, but I was among those who felt ill. But you're telling us that not many people were complaining, right? You were getting huge laughs.
Whatever.
Among those who felt ill when I heard comic Patrice O'Neill.
He's a guy.
He's a guy. They had to put that.
Heard comic Patrice O'Neill instruct men on how to turn a lover into a pirate.
How great is that?
And we have to stop there because the FCC has a major problem with all these stupid things.
Yeah, but there's a way to do this.
But the fact that she wrote it, that you're reading what she wrote, is not...
It's amazing. It's not, that's why the FCC stinks on ice.
It's doing something. It's doing something in the heat of passion that will end up with the woman having to have one of her eyes shut real quickly, like getting something in her eye, so it'll shut. And that is supposed to represent the patch over the eye.
Oh.
Yeah, you slam her in the face with your fist. And that's supposed to represent the patch being over the eye. And then it says, then kicking her leg until she says, and it's spelled out in quotations, arg.
This is why when I was reading it, I thought that she was not trying to make a bad article. Because why would you
write it?
The joke is, it reads funny.
It reads funny,
she's
right?
So stupid for doing that. Like, you don't put arg, and then that might have, but she put arg.
Well, hey, she's showing she's got a twisted sense of humor.
No, she did. Opie, she's so stupid.
No kidding.
Why would she do that?
Because as a dumb woman, she doesn't understand that as funny as it is, so she writes it out and thinks that's terrible. And Merle agrees, and so does Abzug,
Liz Abzug,
and so does that other pie eater, and
Sonia Osario.
And then it says
Sonia Osario. That's what you should have said when you didn't give the eggs right to your husband.
I'm Osario.
Osario. Lightheaded.
Osario. Yeah, if you said your last name a few times, maybe you would have saved a few black eyes.
Oh, God.
He also drew laughs and gasps. You drew gasps? By teaching men to improve the pinnacle of pleasure, let's say, by paralyzing partners during the act.
Which was the donkey punch. Can you?
Yeah, just say that. I'm telling you, the FCC has fined people like crazy over all that.
Can't really describe
all those terms are like such a no-no on radio.
And she doesn't. She's making this like this is my creation.
Right.
I'm like,
no.
I'm just going through it. Like what? She made it to be some type of. She validated that nonsense.
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely did.
And then she goes way overboard, as far as I'm concerned. Andrea Pye.
Yes. Then Louis C.K., whose HBO series Lucky Louie was mercifully canceled.
That's just out of order.
You know, why?
Why? Why do you have to kick us all down?
So she didn't like it, so she figured.
Of course, I thought she had a twisted sense of humor. What is she like that's twisted? What? Everything that I think is funny, she hates.
She's ignorant, man.
I love this
I hate people like this because they think if they didn't like something that everyone else should not like something. I hate that more than anything.
Now this is a seriously twisted sense. She had a seriously twisted sense of humor. She'd find this funny.
Right.
Then Louis C.K., whose HBO series Lucky Louie mercifully canceled, one-upped his twisted colleague, joking about decimating his stupid 4-year-old daughter by bashing her in the head.
And she goes, "Arg."
I love that.
She should have wrote "arg." I've seen the words "arg" since Batman was on TV.
We have someone that was in the audience, Sheep Lover, who's listening on XM. The girl who stood up yelling, "Excuse me," was not Andrea. I saw the girl who did that. She was yelling, "Would you like that done to your mom or sister?"
Of course.
And then he writes, "Ha ha, Patrice killed. He's the best." The crowd loved it. So for the most part, the crowd loved it, except for this bitch.
Too bad you didn't hear that, because you could have answered yes, that you would love that done to your girlfriend and mother, and would pay to watch it, depending how much you'd spend on the ethnicity of the person doing it. You could have really. I'll pay extra for an unclipped gentleman.
Oh, wow. This is interesting. The next paragraph.
Yeah.
Bobby Watts, executive director of Care for the Homeless, told me he had some complaints about the show. Though in a frantic email to Hoffman, Watts insisted that one of the show's producers, Carolyn Thompson, was outraged by the material and let the comics have it backstage.
In a way, I wanted to smash Bobby Watts. But he's the director of Care from the Homeless, and she yanked money, so he kind of has to do that.
I was going to say, I feel like I should be loyal to the guy, but they didn't say anything.
Screw them.
He's just trying to get
And
money.
did anybody catch hell backstage?
Could you even...
Stop. Could you imagine Patrice O'Neill standing there as somebody lambasts him about his act? You'd make that face. That was in the paper. That's where they'd get that picture.
It's just, I couldn't believe it was that political watching this thing. Like, reading and I'm going, what? I just did that stupidness and left.
Oh, poor Bobby Watts. He then had to. I want to state that I do not condone the offensive women-hating nature of the routines Watts wrote to Hoffman.
I wonder if Merle got the email.
Did you write, "Dear
Merle at Yahoo"?
Was it "Dear Ms. Hoffman" or was it "Hey Merle"?
Yeah, she got the email in between cooking tips.
She was
looking up on the Google.
Merle
on the Google.
Merle flips up her flannel collar.
He said Merle.
Dear
Merle.
Merle's got some emasculated man. Some emasculated man that cooks for her.
Dear Merle, LOL.
You don't even put a comma after Merle. It's a colon.
Merle. Another producer, Mark Krantz, disputed that anyone was upset. He said the organizers knew very well what the comics might say. We're sorry if it offended, but the performers knew why they were there, and they were there for free.
He didn't even get paid.
Krantz. He said the event's organizers walked into this with their eyes open. I'm sure on some planet these comics are funny.
Well, get Andrea Pizer on the phone. Andrea, don't hide.
But for a
Come
woman's
on our show.
homeless shelter, that's a bad joke.
I'm sure on some planet these comics are funny. What an ass. Just because you didn't like it, that's fine. You have your own opinion. I respect that, but to think that people don't think Patrice O'Neill's funny is ridiculous.
I don't know, man.
And
According to Andrea, she has a seriously twisted sense of humor.
Seriously twisted.
I'll bet you her and Merle And the Abzug girl shared a few belly laughs backstage.
Oh.
Remember that time you got pregnant and then you sneezed and you weren't pregnant anymore? Bah!
I bet they chuckle watching that clear hose trying to identify what pieces are going through it.
Look,
was that a lil hand?
I would have shaken that. Oh, my sense of humor is so twisted I'm laughing. Uh-oh, mess on the linoleum. O-T-E. Oh, well, that could have been a president.
Oh, boy. That's good. Great.
Hey, what happened
from bassinet to biohazard bag?
we got more. We got more on the story from Patrice O'Neill because I guess his fine woman there
what a
got into an email battle with Andrea Pizer.
Oh, what a trooper!
Good for her.
She ran in the house.
Good for your girl, man.
Her main thing was she was upset mostly with Merle. Because it's like, why would you yank your money?
Yeah.
Because of what my boyfriend said. But
yeah, that's worse than
like
what
the women don't need the money because you upset her.
I don't think you did anything wrong, but if you're thinking about what's worse, I think what's worse is like pulling money out of an organization that needs the help over a dumb joke.
Right.
I'm sorry. I just got so distracted at what I think was the news.
It is the news. Anthony.
No, it can't possibly be the news. No, you're kidding.
It's white people dancing, and two of them are wearing the Jamaican hats.
They're wearing Jamaican hats with the fake dreads coming out.
Losing weight to reggae.
And they're dancing behind the anchor desk. Could you ever see Walter Cronkite?
How the hell
a reggae hat on and dreads.
No. How the hell could you lose weight to reggae?
Lose weight to reggae, yeah.
You're not losing weight to reggae. You're smoking pot and sitting in a lounge chair next to a pool.
How the hell do you lose weight freaking listening to reggae?
Smoking blunts.
Are you kidding?
Stop it. Look at these idiots.
I can see you losing weight listening to Boy George music, but not reggae.
Oh, man, 6 months later.
There you go.
He's just lost all the weight you need.
I'm dumbfounded watching
Who's watching the news and actually laughing?
I don't know. It's all right. Anyway, so what happened with the chick?
And I have a severely twisted, seriously.
Oh, God, I like to think I have a twisted sense of humor.
Let's get back to Patrice, because I want to wrap this up so we can move on to other things. So
yeah, she wrote, she started it out. I didn't read it because I know how I am. If I read it, I would have been, backseat driving her grating, but I read it. It was really good. She was it began with, I am Patrice O'Neill's fiance, and then in parentheses, a.k.a. his bitch. And I'm here to say that I have never been maimed or beaten in the act of sex. But she never defended that I'm a misogynist. She never said I'm not one.
She probably tried to, and her computer wouldn't let her type it. It kept deleting.
But she wrote a long thing and all of gripes. And Andrea wrote back, I have to paraphrase it, but she basically wrote back, listen, first of all, don't shoot the messenger. Second of all, I am not before you give me a speech about journalistic integrity, I am not a journalist. I'm a columnist. So
they're paid for their opinions.
To me, it's fine. She's got an opinion, but it's a lousy one. Yeah. It's one that is contradictory to her saying that she has a seriously twisted sense of humor. And, that's
do women like that have sex? Like Gloria's already.
Oh, I'll bet you not only do they have sex, but I'll bet you that they like their hair pulled, and I'll bet you that they are just dirtbag submissive. That's what my guess would be. Because any woman that's running around tooting her own horn like that and just demanding, I guarantee you.
I think a lot of these.
If they're straight, they're dirty subs.
A lot of these right-wing guys that are against homosexuality always end up popping out of the closet when something happens. Some guy comes in and says, "Hey, we were having sex." Same thing with these women. Yeah, they probably in bed just love a little hair tug.
We have another person that was at the show, Anna from Bayside. As someone who attended the show, it's ironic that twatty Carolyn Ray and Paula Poundstone weren't lambasted for their tacky attempts at man-bashing.
Oh, was Paula Poundstone and Carolyn Ray trying to...
I wasn't even going to ask Patrice that question. He has no clue.
I don't know.
He just waits to do a little man go on stage. I had no doubt in my mind. You didn't see any part of the show.
I don't know what it is.
I guess that's okay, because when a woman tries to hit you, you just laugh at her anyway.
Absolutely. You just take a little slap and you just give it right back harder.
And then Anna continues.
Put your class ring on her cheek.
Anna continues. They just wish they got laughs like Patrice and Lewis did. Stupid. And then she used the C plural word. Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, yeah. She went there.
Comic kooks. Comedians.
I can't believe here's the worst sin of Andrea Peyser. She's a homely woman. They're columnists like Linda Stacy and they're all ugly. None of them are sexy. I don't know what Merle looks like, but she couldn't be hot.
Merle can't be sexy.
How can she be?
Well, this is
Merle.
This is how we wrap this up. Once again, we invite the columnists to defend themselves on the Opie and Anthony show. It never happened.
I want to talk to Merle.
They all hide.
Let's get
We'll talk to Merle Hoffman. We'll talk to Liz Asberg. Abzug, whatever. We'll talk to the girl that has sorry in her last name.
Osorio. Sonia Osorio.
And the Peyser woman.
And we'll talk to the Peyser woman.
Do we try getting them all, Merle?
All at once.
What happened? Too early, right? Yeah. They all say that.
Oh,
too early. All right, it's the O&A virus.
On the Who Cares channel.
Exactly. Hey, by the way, who cares about hockey?
Hey guys, the Vegas Rollers are coming to town.
All right, listen.
We have awful cities.
We have Louis C.K.'s waiting on hold here, just listening to us babble about nothing.
It's hockey.
Hey, Louis, what's up?
Sweetie.
And the lack of interest in it.
Congrats on the print.
Oh, yeah, that was some nice ink. That was great.
We've been talking about it all morning. We have Patrice O'Neill in studio.
Yeah, I was very proud of that. I thought that was awesome.
No laughing matter, my friend.
Well, you should know better than...
every time something happens with comedy, that's the headline.
Yep.
No laughing matter. That's really creative.
But this woman claims to have this really seriously twisted sense of humor.
Yeah.
And then just trashes you guys.
Yeah, I actually thought she was fair in a lot of ways. Like, she says that Patrice got laughs. Like, she could have just not mentioned that.
Mm-hmm.
He does say he got laughs and gasps, which is true. I was there. There were people that were bumming out, but they were helping to make laugh the people with senses of humor. So
that happens at the women's clinics, too. Laughs and gasps.
Yeah, the boyfriend's laughing and high-fiving his friends while she's gasping and thinking he's still going to stay with her because she's going through what he promised he'd stay with her if she went through. You mean if I get it taken care of, you won't break up with me? Yeah. And he hears that thing get plugged in, and he hears the kickstart, and he high-fives his friends, and they leave her there.
Oh my God.
Have some orange juice and get your road ride home, you no morning after pill whore.
I just got to sell these concert tickets to pay for it.
Fast times, right on. The one thing about Andrea Peyser that she fails to mention in the column, the headline is No Laughing Matter, but Louis C.K. and Patrice O'Neill were getting huge laughs at this show. There was only a handful of people that weren't enjoying it.
Yeah, no, it was killing. And the thing is that the point of having us there was not that we weren't supposed to be there to talk about how great women's shelters are.
Yeah.
We were there to put our names on the show so that people would come and see us. And both Patrice and I, when we went on stage, got big applause going on. So we know that people paid money to that women's shelter so that they could watch us say horrible things about women. That's the whole point.
Yeah. Right.
If they had a show where a bunch of people stand up there and talk about how nice everybody should be, nobody would have paid any money. So, this woman that pulled her support, though, that's what makes me sick.
Yeah.
She thinks that she's helping. She thinks that she's fighting misogyny by taking money away from a woman's shelter. So
yeah. Well, you think if Merle Hoffman would have been billed that she was going to be up on stage and Liz Abzug was going to be up there, that the place would have packed out? Of course not.
The thing that's funny, too, is that Merle Hoffman, it says she pulled her support.
Yeah.
She's the president of Choices Women's Clinic.
Yeah.
It's not like they had money. She just decided to be bitter and say something crappy, but it's not like she was pouring money into the place.
Oh, so she just is removing her support.
Well, that's the way I read it, because it doesn't...
So,
No, I think she was... Actually, I think they said she was a big financial contributor. Maybe on a personal level she was.
It doesn't say that on the...
No? I thought it said she was a big contributor. I could be wrong.
No, she's just another, person with a handout for women that get hit.
I tell you one thing, isn't it great though that she yanked all that money and all she did was like with every dollar she yanked, 2 more teeth got loosened.
Yeah, no kidding.
Tee-hee. There you go, girls.
Black guys for everyone because she doesn't have a sense of humor.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make any sense. It's like I'm gonna, we're all here to support these women, and I thought those guys weren't funny, so I'm taking money away from these ladies.
So
yeah.
Well, I wonder what they would have done if De Niro or somebody had volunteered to say be the MC. Would they have objected because he beat his wife in Raging Bull? It's once again the double standard for comedy. It's just revolting.
Right.
And again, look at what Paula Poundstone was in the news for.
Well, yeah, I don't know that Paula did anything.
No, I said she was in the news for.
It was alleged.
Alleged.
They forgave her. They're fine with her now.
Yeah.
But you weren't even accused of that. And what bugged me is this woman ran a woman's choice clinic, which is basically an abortion clinic, correct?
Yeah, I guess so.
And you're talking about beating up your kid. And I'm like, well, at least they had the thing. God almighty, at least you guys had it and loved it and repainted the room. She didn't even want to repaint the room. She's like, let's just leave it as a study.
Well, this is what I love about the stuff they chose of mine to complain about. They obviously combed through my act looking for something that was against women.
Yeah.
I don't talk about any women or hitting women, but they found, he hit a little girl. So if I had done a bit about hitting my little boy, they would have said, who cares, little faggot.
Yeah, it wouldn't have been in there.
Yeah.
Let him hit the little faggot. Nobody cares about boys.
I love where it says, joking about decimating his stupid 4-year-old daughter by bashing her in the head. It looks so good in writing. It looks like a restraining order.
Yeah, really.
It looks like she thinks my daughter is.
Louis, do you remember that picture you took?
What's that?
That picture that's in the paper, do you remember that from anywhere? Can you trace that picture back? Like, I remember that picture.
That's me from HBO special, the half hour I did 2 years ago.
Oh, really?
Okay, all right.
The publicity photo they got from HBO. So HBO supplied that to help them malign me.
Yeah, because you look like a lunatic, and Patrice just looks like he's ready to carjack you.
You know. Patrice looks like he's going, were the people there? I didn't know they were there.
Well, I mean, you don't want to. I mean, as a comic, we all know that people like, Liz Abzug and Merle Hoffman. I mean, that's basically the target audience because they're very funny people. Women who are involved in social causes always have wonderful senses of humor.
Oh,
twisted. Hilarious.
That's the whole point. The whole point of this stupid event was, let's take this out of our realm and go get some. It was Rich Voss was there. The bill was a dirty, nasty bunch of guys because we pull in numbers and we make money for them. We didn't get paid to do this. We did this for them.
Yeah.
And so the idea that this lady's going to, protest by, because she should just go over to that shelter and start hitting women because she didn't think we were funny.
Well, I not only should she, but I think we all, too, as well. I love women.
Norton, man, he's funny. Why is Norton has too much about beating all women?
No reason. I mean, I didn't go through a horrible experience this weekend that I'm devastated. No.
Oh, believe me, when it comes to a little woman bashing this week is
boy, you picked
Jimmy's
the right
week.
guy.
Yeah, this hit a perfect day for us.
I make LaMotta look like Alan Alda this week.
I can picture Norton's entire left side going out of socket trying to punch anything.
Sorry, didn't mean to laugh that hard.
That's right.
I'm sorry, Jimmy. You're hurting today. I shouldn't have laughed that hard.
What happened, Jim?
Nothing does comedy better than being quoted so that you can tell how funny it is in an angry article. Because Patrice's bit is obviously, just the fact that she spelled out arg.
Arg. I mean, it reads funny.
A lot of A's, by the way.
It's not my Louis. It's not even my bit. It's just that.
It's a thing.
One of those
going around. It's a thing.
That's yours now, buddy.
Yeah, no kidding.
Arg.
All right, Louis.
Hey, you got any gigs coming up, man?
Yeah, I'm doing Vegas. I'm doing the comedy festival in Vegas.
Cool.
Me and David Teller doing a show on the 16th.
Nice.
I'll see you out there, man. I'll be flying out there with an empty seat next to me on the plane. So take care, man. We'll see you there. I'm doing the Saget show.
Oh.
Maybe the three of us can hang out since there won't be four.
Yeah.
I don't think so much, no.
All right.
Thank you, Louis.
Thanks so much. No.
Louis
Thanks, Louis.
By the way, before we move